baseball season, is still here. We know everyone loves to bet on football, but you can still make a lot of money on baseball. If you like our content, we'd really appreciate it if you give us a like, share our stuff, and if you want a notification every time we post a new video, hit the bell. We're talking Rangers and Astros in this one, an in-state rivalry game. We've got Scott Rickenbach joining us to talk Rangers-Astros, where the Astros are huge favorites, minus 210. The total is 9. We've got Kyle Cody on the mound for the Rangers, 0-1 with a .93 ERA and just 9 innings of work this season. Jose Urquidy, hopefully I'm saying that right. He's 0-1 with a 3.72 ERA. So, Scott, the big number for the Astros on this one. Initial thoughts when you saw some of these lines?
Yes, definitely a big number here, which, of course, this generally leads me to look at a total when I see a big money line like this, and that's the case in this game. And I know he's had limited action so far, but the Rangers pitcher in this one, Kyle Cody, as you mentioned, very low ERA, 0.93. He's held hitters to a 156 batting average against, and he's been rock solid in his limited action. And here's the key. Astros not familiar with him. He's 6'7", 225 pounds. He's an intimidating presence on the mound. Those guys, when they throw the pitches at you, it looks like the pitch is almost there by the time it leaves their hand. So those big guys can be tough to face, especially for the first time. And speaking of lack of familiarity, which is big when looking at pitching matchups, in this case, Jose Urquidy, despite pitching in the same division as the Rangers, he has not faced or hardly has faced the Rangers. And the Rangers hitters have 3 guys that have appearances against him. They're a combined 0 for 7, so very little familiarity with him. And he's held hitters to a 176 batting average this season, and he held them last season in his home starts to a 210 batting average against, and also last season in night starts a 210 batting average against and a 3.03 ERA. So he's been particularly tough when pitching at home. And I look for the lack of familiarity here to be a problem for the Rangers hitters, who, by the way, before they came up with a win on Sunday, they were on a 6-21 run. And in those 21 losses, they've averaged just 3.2 runs per game. So they're not scoring well. And speaking of not scoring well, the Astros on a 2-9 run in their last 11 games. And in their last 7 games, they have averaged just 2.6 runs per game. So the mighty Astros are not hitting the ball that well right now either. And as you can see, that has me leaning toward the under in this one. I'm going under the total of 9 runs for my free pick in this baseball matchup.
It's really baffling to me when you see a big number like minus 210 on this Astros team that, as you mentioned, is not the Astros team that everyone probably thinks that they are. They're 23-24 on the season. The Rangers are 17-30, so obviously they're not having a great season either. But the Astros have been battling with all kinds of injuries, especially to their pitching rotation. That's why we've seen a lot of guys that are younger come into the rotation, and especially their bullpen. They did get a few guys back. Brad Peacock, I believe, is back, and Chris Davinsky. I think both those guys are back. And also, it should be noted that Urquidy, 6 innings and just 2 earned runs against a really strong A's team last time out. So he has been pitching well despite that, 0-1 record, which I don't really look at records too much. I look more at their ERA. So he's been going pretty well for the Astros.
Yes, additionally in that matchup, like you said, a pretty solid Oakland team. I think Oakland only had 2 hits in that game in the 6th inning, so he really did pitch well there. He's a tough customer, and I do believe that's why this is priced the way it is. You look at the records of the teams and the fact that Urquidy is certainly a little more of a proven pitcher than Kyle Cody, but at the same time, you'd be hard-pressed to find me laying that kind of a price right now with the way the Astros have been going of late. Again, just 2-9 their last 11 games.
Right, and then finally, 9's a pretty healthy number. It's not a super low total, so the Astros can still win 7-1, and you're still under.
For sure, yes, yep. Definitely like the under in this one, the way these lineups have been going.
Right, all right, well, that's going to do it for Rangers and Astros talk here on Picks and Parlays. Scott Rickenbach, great stuff as always. Scott, thanks for joining us.